In the middle of New York City's restless winter, 17-year-old Aiden Walker found himself living a life that felt too ordinary in a world changing too fast. Every day after school, he worked in his father's small grocery store, Walker's Market, a shop squeezed between a laundromat and a barber shop, its neon sign flickering like a heartbeat running out of rhythm. Prices rose every week. Customers complained every hour, and the news on the dusty old TV mounted above the refrigerator screamed about inflation, layoffs, AI jobs, and global slowdowns. The city around him moved like a beast made of steel and data, yet inside the store, time felt frozen. But everything changed the moment a stranger stepped inside one rainy evening. The man wore a long brown coat, carried a black notebook, and had the sort of sharp eyes that made Aiden feel as if he were being read like a page. The man didn't pick anything up, didn't browse, didn't wonder. He simply walked straight to the counter and asked, "Do you understand what's coming?" Aiden blinked, unsure what to say. The stranger opened his notebook, revealing rough sketches of charts, dates, arrows, and words Aiden didn't fully understand, but somehow felt were important. "Most people think the economy is chaos," the man said in a calm voice. "But it's a story, and every story has characters, chapters, and consequences. You, Aiden, are standing at the beginning of the next chapter." Before Aiden could respond, the man pulled out a sheet from the notebook. It contained 5 words: demand, supply, labor, technology, confidence. "These," he said, "are the 5 forces shaping your future. Understand them, and you'll understand what everyone else misses." Aiden swallowed. "Why me?" The man smiled faintly. "Because you watch. Watching turns into understanding. Understanding turns into power. And power, if used right, changes lives." With that, the stranger slipped the paper into Aiden's hand and walked back out into the cold city, disappearing into a blur of streetlights and steam rising from subway grates. Aiden stared at the map until the store closed. Suddenly, economics didn't feel like boring TV. It felt like a secret language only a few could read. And for the first time in his life, Aiden felt like he had been handed a key to something bigger than himself. Subscribe for more. Aiden barely slept that night, his mind looping around the 5 words the stranger had left behind. When morning arrived, the world felt different, not because the city had changed, but because now Aiden was looking at it through a new lens. As he walked to school, he noticed small details he had ignored before: a delivery truck running late, a cafe changing its menu prices, a store advertising "help wanted" signs in bold red. Everything seemed to whisper clues about those 5 economic forces. In his first-class economics, the teacher discussed supply disruptions caused by global shipping delays. Aiden felt a jolt. The concept wasn't theory anymore. It was real. At lunch, he saw the cafeteria shelves half empty, students complaining about missing snacks. Demand and supply. In the hallway, his classmates talked about part-time jobs being harder to find. Labor. After school, he passed by a tech store promoting new AI tools that could replace repetitive jobs. Technology. By the time he reached home, the final force, confidence, revealed itself when he overheard customers in the store talking nervously about the rising cost of living, their uncertainty echoing like background noise. Each piece connected to the map the stranger gave him. It felt like the city was coded, and he had just learned the first line of the script. He spent that night watching economic videos, reading articles, and scribbling notes in a notebook. His father laughed. "You, studying economics? Since when?" Aiden didn't know how to explain, so he just said, "I want to understand what's happening." The more he learned, the more he realized the stranger had been right. The economy wasn't random. It was a giant machine where every part pushed another. Aiden wasn't special, he simply had started to look. And in looking, he found patterns everyone else ignored. Subscribe for more. Aiden's curiosity transformed into something deeper: obsession. Days turned into weeks, and soon every free moment was dedicated to decoding the economy, like a detective chasing clues. He followed stock market charts, studied global shipping issues, read about worker shortages, and even explored how AI models affected wages. The five forces were no longer mysterious words. They were threads connecting every part of the world. At school, he noticed students debating whether college was worth it. That was labor and confidence colliding. Online, he saw influencers talking about AI replacing creative jobs. That was technology reshaping demand. When a viral video showed grocery stores raising prices overnight, that was supply pressure. Everything became part of the puzzle. But the biggest change wasn't outside, it was inside him. Aiden had always thought of himself as average, someone who drifted through life without direction. But now, he felt purpose, power, insight. He could predict small things like when milk shortages would happen or when a price increase was coming because he understood the forces behind them. His father slowly noticed. "How did you know customers would buy cheaper brands this week?" Aiden shrugged, but inside he felt proud. He had read articles about shrinking consumer confidence and rising inflation expectations. It wasn't luck, it was knowledge. Aiden began writing down patterns. He created his own charts, tracked news cycles, and compared predictions. The more he studied, the more he felt like he was preparing for something big. And deep down, he knew the stranger hadn't chosen him randomly. Something was coming, a shift, a moment, a chapter that he would not just witness but shape. Subscribe for more. The test arrived sooner than Aiden expected. Walker's Market, his father's pride, began struggling more than ever. Suppliers raised prices, customers bought less, and profit margins shrank until the store felt like it was bleeding quietly. Aiden recognized every sign: rising supply costs, falling demand from stressed customers, labor issues as workers quit for higher-paying jobs, technology competition from online delivery apps, and collapsing confidence in small businesses. His father refused to see it. "It's a phase," he insisted. "It will pass." But Aiden knew better. He had studied enough to understand that these were not random events, they were indicators, signals, warnings. One night, while his father sat exhausted at the counter, Aiden took a deep breath and made a bold prediction: if we keep the same strategy, we won't survive 6 months. His father stared at him, stunned. Aiden didn't stop. He explained demand shifts, supply chain pressure, consumer confidence drops, and the rise of cheaper competitors. He proposed changing product selection, adjusting pricing, and promoting low-cost essentials customers actually needed. It wasn't guesswork, it was the five forces. His father reluctantly agreed to test Aiden's plan. Within a month, the store saw improvement. Small at first, but real. Customers appreciated the smarter pricing. New items sold fast. And for the first time in a long time, Aiden felt like he could influence not just his life, but the fate of the business. Subscribe for more. Just when things began to stabilize, the stranger returned. He appeared one cold morning, standing outside the store like a shadow waiting for its moment. Aiden felt his heart race as the man walked in, that same notebook in hand. "You've started to see," the man said. "Good." Aiden demanded answers. "Who are you? Why did you choose me?" The man opened the notebook and revealed pages filled with data, predictions, and newspaper clippings. "I study economic patterns, crises, booms, collapses, and every major shift begins with individuals who notice the signals early. Your city, your generation is heading toward a transformation. Some will fall behind, some will lead. I saw in you what I rarely see: curiosity." He explained that he had been traveling across cities searching for young minds willing to learn how the world truly worked. Aiden was one of the few who listened. "The next chapter," the man continued, "will involve tougher decisions. The economy will tighten, technology will accelerate, jobs will shift. But those who understand the five forces will not only survive, they will guide others." Aiden felt both fear and excitement. "What do I do now?" The man handed him a new page, blank except for one sentence. "Now, you make your own map." Aiden understood. This wasn't about copying the stranger. It was about using knowledge to create his own path, his own strategy for the future. The story of Walker's Market, the city, and his generation wasn't written yet, but he had the tools to write it. As the stranger walked away for the final time, Dan realized something powerful. Economics wasn't just numbers. It was people, choices, confidence, and the future itself. Subscribe for more.